Yes, we've talked many times in this programme about local sailor Darren Robb, who sailed out on the Foyle just as the Clippers were leaving. Tobin, his ears prick up, and he steps up onto the microphone like he's doing what he's told. You couldn't believe what I'm seeing. And the wee seat swings away and he falls off. Tobin was on board, and Darren's vision here was for an all-round Ireland, circumnavigation of the island, to voyage, simply to raise money for Macmillan Cancer. He's completed the trip and arrived jubilation-wise in the city again, back to the Clipper pontoon last night. As I say, congratulations to you. You must be a proud man,
Thank you. Well, I was glad to get it over with in the end, I was struggling there in the last week, but so happy to be back. Fantastic.
Darren, you took an interest, you stopped and started. You got the health up and then you went for a bit more, and then you came back, recuperated, got the health up and had another go. You weren't taking no for an answer.
Well, there was times there I thought I wouldn't be able to complete it, and they wanted me to go into the palliative care team in Altnagavin, and I just couldn't accept that was for me. I thought I wasn't ready for it at that stage, so I ended up telling them that, listen, I'll contact you when the time comes, but as of now, I'm not ready for that. So I took 3 days rest back at home, and then I went at it again and just stayed at it, and the crew joined me in different spots around the island, and it was fantastic support I had from my friends. Really fantastic support.
Had medical people on board with you and all the rest. Yeah. Darren, for a man who's living with serious terminal illness, this voyage, you're built like a tank. You've got the shoulders, you're like a boy out of a gym, like one of these boys lifting weights.
Well, I'm far from skinny,
No.
But I'm just taking it in my stride, really, because every day is a blessing.
Yeah.
And to be out there in the sea doing what I wanted to do was, it was a real fantastic experience to be part of.
And your man was with you the whole way?
Oh, he was with me the whole way. And he just loved it.
He's got the head on the rest of the chair, and as if there's not a worry in this world.
He's making himself at home.
Tobin.
But whenever we were, if it picked up in a storm, he'd always go in below and sleep right at the back in the bunk. But he knew where to go if it was getting dangerous. He was well aware that he would have to get off the deck and go into the wee bunk and under and beneath.
I've been lucky enough in the years to witness some remarkable relationships between people and animals. There was a remarkable story about a dog who looks after a young kid with autism out in Maville. Was it Muff or Maville? And it was just amazing what that dog could do.
Yeah.
Darren, every time he comes in, and he every time you breathe or tap the desk like that or tell him to do something, he just does it almost like a wee servant.
Well, we have a special bond.
Do you think he knows what's going on in your life?
He definitely does, yeah. Even when I had the tumour, first of all, in 2011, he kept just nosing, pushing my chin. And I didn't know at the time. It's only when I listened to a radio programme about this guy in New Zealand, and the dog was sensing that he had a tumour growing in his chest. And he was always nudging him. I just put two and two together, and I thought, well, this dog knows what's going on with me.
Do you believe that?
Oh, most definitely. There is a sixth sense there, and they try to communicate with you, and you need to be tuned into them in a special way to know what they're thinking.
I'm not being in any way trite, but Tobin, I've never seen a sadder looking dog. I get a sense of that. If there ever was a heartbroken dog, that's that dog.
He knows what's happening for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just not his normal self now this last few months.
He's sitting looking at you like the rest of us would watch television, and just sort of the ear goes down and then the head goes up. And
well, he's got a big vocabulary, he knows all the key words. If he picked out a key word out of 10, he would know where the conversation's going.
Walkies is one of them, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. But people will say to me, you're mad talking to that dog, But obviously they haven't got a dog when they say that to me, because dog lovers talk to their animals all the time. He could speak in any language, that dog. Just happens to be English we communicate with.
He's got the head, and then Darren scratches his nose, and he just comes to life. Like you've just give him an oxygen injection. Darren, what was last night like? Because there were times you told me throughout the challenge that you weren't sure, would you get as far as Cork, would you get past Dublin, and you did it time and time, and then coming back up to your native Foyle last night, what was that like?
Oh, it was fantastic. Just coming past our friends there in Greencastle, waving us on. The sheets were out. It was just fantastic. And then we were met by a few boats in the Foyle, and it was fantastic. Seamus and Harry McGarvey offered. They were all out in their wee boats, welcoming me home. And then we came past Culmore Point, and we knew there was a big concentration of people there.
What's he
that I
saying?
knew. He's just mad.
He
He's mad to get out playing.
Oh, he
That's
wants
what
to go out. Is that
yeah.
all? You have to wait your time, fella. I have to talk to your dad here. Stevie Gillespie says, "Big congratulations to you and your dog, Darren."
Thank
Congratulations, Darren, from Anne O'Doherty. And then Mark Strong, I think, is one of your supporters, is he, Darren?
Yeah.
He says you can see Darren's full Facebook page and the whole journey, which is forever going to be there
He
on
was
social
the
media.
the technical guy.
You
He
need a
sorted
guy
it
like that,
all
don't
out.
you?
Yeah.
Those are the important guys.
He was a big anchor now
Yeah.
in the whole event.
Goodness me. Darren, I've never met a man that faces it quite the way you face it, and I'm almost uncomfortable talking about it because we know that you've had a terrible diagnosis, and it's just a matter of what, one foot in front of the other.
You just have to get on with it on a daily basis. You know, you can't bury your head in the sand. No matter what you're faced with in life, no matter what it is, you have to carry on. You just have to carry on regardless. You can't stop for a second and think, oh, poor me. You just got to carry on and make the best out of each day that you can.
And can I ask you what they've told you? What's the best advice you have? Have you reason to hope, or
Well,
is that a very personal thing to ask, I wonder?
no, it's okay to ask that, but it more or less give me no hope. You know, like a consultant of 30 years, Russell Houston, has said that, you know, there's no way we could operate because of the tumour and the way it's wrapped around the main blood artery going into your heart,
It's down the chest.
just on top of the kidney.
Uh-huh.
And within time there'll be multiple tumours growing out, and it's going to be pretty uncomfortable. It was him that advised me, if you've a sale to do, a charity sale, I would get it done, because pretty soon you won't be able to do it. But it was all in memory of John Stewart, you know. Poor John passed away in February this year, and he was only 24.
There was a lot of you who were being treated at the same time.
Well,
with
a hell of a lot of us met up, and we became good friends up in that unit at the time, in the city cancer care unit. And there was some great people there who aren't with us anymore, sadly.
How do you deal with the heartache of it? Because look, in our heart of hearts, as human beings, we know our number will be called someday.
Yeah, well, we're all dying.
Well, exactly. From the day we're born.
On a daily basis, we're all dying. But I'm just maybe doing a little bit faster than other people if I take on board what they're telling me. But it is really hard to take on board. You know, when someone says, "Listen, you've a few months to go here," it's really hard to accept that. But you just try your best to make the most out of every day.
When you know that, because I hope to have longer than you, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about, you know, what's going to be left behind or any of that stuff. Do you be pressed on your legacy or what will be here in your name, in your memory? Does that play in your mind?
No, it's not. It's not too important to me, that aspect, you know. But what is important is trying to help people as you come along on your journey. That's the most important thing. You know, not being selfish, just trying to help people if you can help them. Well, the way it used to be years ago, you know, before people swallowed this American dream theory. It's no American dream, in my view, you know, it's an American bloody nightmare.
The selfish thing.
The materialistic world is pretty non-existent with me.
Well, it takes boys like you to tell the rest of us that, because I think we all know that as well.
Well, you know that, but
a bigger car means nothing.
It's kind of like being a member of an exclusive club, unless you give a good kick in the ass and you say, "Listen, your time's up."
And yet, Darren, do you know what the power of your situation is? That people listening to this who know what you're up against
Oh, there's people out there.
are listening to your every word.
Yeah,
Because you have a power, because you're not wasting a word in this life, are you?
There are people out there who can identify with what I'm saying, but they're in the minority. Thankfully, they are in the minority, and the majority of people are healthy and fit and they get on with their daily routines. But the people who have rubbed shoulders with death, they know what I'm talking about. Every word and every day is just a blessing, and you try to get on with it and make the most you can of it.
So, having tormented your body and the pup, is this time from now on? Then is it your time, or does a man need to have another vision to attach himself to keep him going?
It's my time, and the only thing I want to do is keep on sailing. Sailing's changed my life around completely.
More sailing.
Yeah,
So you reach the challenge, you get home, and you want to get out again.
I'll be sailing to keep my mind occupied. You know, that's the only thing that keeps me going, the sailing and the wee dog. But he's been a great help to me throughout all this.
Yeah.
And I'll be jumping in the boat pretty soon now and maybe head to the west of Scotland for a few days. And there's a storm coming on the way.
Don't be going out the night of tomorrow, I don't think.
It'll be midweek, I think, next week. You know, we had a couple of storms coming round. One was in Sligo Bay, 4-7, and we were coming. Our route on plan was to get across into Killybegs and to go across into Donegal Bay and berth, but it was getting pretty dark. We'd just done a 13-hour passage, and it wasn't working out at all. So I decided to pull into Sligo. And it was about 1:30 when we made it there, and we had to go up through a narrow channel. We hit the bottom 3 times. Thought we were going to get stuck in the mud, but
got it.
We could not see the pontoon. It was pitch black, but we could only hear the halyards hitting the masts.
Yes.
So as we got closer, we seen it, and we got around the corner, and all our navigation aids failed. The batteries failed.
Lord.
So we were just sailing and hoping that we would see the masts of the boats, and eventually we did. We had to clear this corner of 50 yards, and we could see there was a bridge in front of us, so we weren't going very far. And hallelujah to see them masts. There's a few guys getting pretty impatient.
It's funny, it strikes me you have a relationship with the water. I think, and I don't want to be twee about this in any sense, but people talk about the eternal shore, that the human beings, for whatever reason, I don't know, evolution or whatever, but we're drawn to the salt water ultimately as the spot. Quite literally, you're saying, finally, you're drawn to the shore. You're drawn to
Definitely. Everyone should try it out, getting a boating experience, you know, because the sea calls to us all in a relaxation form. You know, there's nothing better than walking on the beach
He's
on
not
a
having
windy
it.
day.
He's not having it. He doesn't want to go out again.
Oh, he's
whinging away.
When he hears the word beach, that's the way he goes on. He thinks he's going to get a walk down and phone.
We're going to the beach.
Hey boy, are you coming?
Up like a rocket. Up like a rocket.
So it's everyone should make the most out of the sea.
Darren, just finally, how did your campaign go? Because you wanted to make a few bob for Macmillan, didn't you? And let's be honest, you were out money here because sailing isn't cheap, and the support that you needed and all the rest. Are you happy with the achievement? But on the balance sheet.
I'm pretty much happy with it. Yeah, there's I think at the moment there's over 11,000 anyway for Macmillan. That's only since the start of April. So since I've been sailing, you know, there hasn't been much fundraising been going on, but I might do a few more wee bouts of it to raise it up a bit. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what's going on.
Well, if we can be of any use to you, let us know if there's any more stuff on. I'm sure the people are only too happy to hear about it, Darren.
If the people got out there and visited them islands on the west coast, I tell you,
change a few perspectives.
Inishbofin, Arranmore, beautiful.
Yeah.
Tory Island, get out there because it's a spectacular place.
Deal.
It really is.
Deal done.
The corn cricks in Tory, they're hard to beat.
I've heard the corn cricks of Inish. What do you call it again? The wee one. Halfway between it.
Inishmore, is it?
Inishbofin.
Inishbofin, yeah, down Mayo.
Darren, it's lovely to see you. And
Thank
congratulations. I think an awful lot of people would just pat you on the shoulder and go, well done.
Much appreciated. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who helped me on my way.
You made it.
Fantastic.
Darren Robb is back home with Tobin, who I think is ready to be struck here today to get out of this place. He's not a bit happy in here. He's got the chin on the ground now, and now he's getting a scrub from his dad. Caller says close to the skeg, Darren Robb there, and you can check out Darren on our Facebook page today. Lovely photograph up of his homecoming with the mayor and all the rest.